our middle school jazz band here perform for all of us. And they're going to do a fantastic job because I know they've had a lot of practice this morning already in a couple schools, am I correct? Yeah, so they have a band and the orchestra. Of course, right. We have a real special treat. You know most of these children, or at least many of these children. I expect you to have really good ears, please. Appreciate what they're saying. And I'd like to be able to see a good audience. What do we mean by good audience, please? Tanya?
Don't talk.
Oh, all right. Listen carefully, no talking. Sitting, which way are you going to be facing, Ross? Facing forward. Very good. Thank you very much. Do you all know Mr. Schneider? Okay. And you know Mrs. Shima? And do you know Mrs. Gervin? Okay, Mrs. Gervin is with our chorus. She's been here. She was here last year also. Let's begin first with our traditional flag salute, please. And I expect everyone to be
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. This is the Tenafly Middle School stage band. In a moment you're about to hear the middle school, old school chorus. The first piece that we just played the first piece of music that we just played was a piece written by one of the Beatles, Paul McCartney. This was called Norwegian Wood. It's been around for quite a while, and if you know a little bit about music, you probably realize that even though this was a jazz piece, this was three. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we call this a jazz waltz. The next piece of music that we're going to play is a piece of music which is very, very dear to two things that are very close to you. And I'm going to show you in a second how we're going to tie these together. First of all, Smith School is very close to you, very close to me. When I was in 5th grade, this building opened. Before that, I went to law school, and my mom was the secretary of the school for many years. And the second item that I want to tie together is Christmas. And how do these all go together? Well, it's a person. His name is Glenn Miller. Glenn Miller lived in Tenafly for many years, back in the late 30s and the 40s. Lived not too far from here, and people have lived down in the area which is called the Cotswold area by the Glen down there. You know what I'm talking about? You know when you go up English Street, there's those big gates there, go down the hill? Down the bottom there was a big house on the left-hand side. That's where Glenn Miller, he was a famous band leader, lived for a number of years. And in 1944, Glenn Miller had his whole band in the Air Force at that particular time, the Army Air Force. And they had played a concert on Christmas Eve. Now see how I bring in Christmas? They were playing a concert on Christmas Eve near Paris for a lot of the Army soldiers that were over there fighting the war. And the following day, on Christmas Day, the band was supposed to play in London, in England. So the band was supposed to take the boat and the train across the English Channel, and so that's what the band did. But because Glenn Miller was a good band director, he wanted to make sure that everything was set. He left on Christmas Eve in a little airplane and flew across the English Channel. The only thing was, the plane never got there. And to this very day, we don't know whatever happened to Glenn Miller or the airplane. But the band did get there, and they did play the concert on Christmas without him. And Mrs. Miller lived down here in the Cotswold Estates down there up until the middle 50s. Sometime when I was about your age, she moved to California. The last I heard, she's still alive and living out in California. Anyway, Glenn Miller was a very, very famous jazz band leader. And he had a lot of tunes that were very, very popular. Sold lots and lots of records. And one of the records was a piece that he took was a march. It was originally a march called American Patrol. And it was written by a composer by the name of Beecham. And what happened was he took this piece and he jazzed it up. And so we're going to play that for you right now. This is called American Patrol, and it's originally arranged by Glenn Miller. two groups together, and now it's time for our all-school chorus under the direction of Mr. Irvin.
This is the all-school course from the middle school. This is an extracurricular group where all these students are in one of our courses that meets during the school day, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, that has decided to do this extra activity because they wanted to do a little bit more singing and a little bit more performing. So they all do this by choice. They give up their own time. They come and meet once a week in the morning, and we rehearse then. They've been doing a lot of performances for the holidays, playing at the elementary school. Last night they sang at Riverside Square Mall, and tomorrow we'll be having an assembly at our own school, the middle school. We're going to continue with candles of Hanukkah, candles of Christmas.
Candles of Christmas, candles of gladness.
the stage band of this rock tune. Gloria. Our stage band. Last March, you came over here and you heard our concert band play. What kind of a band doesn't play music?
A rubber band.
Yes. Now, I have one more question for you. What instrument does a skeleton play? A trombone. In this last piece, you heard our trombone section. Plus Andy, you all know Andy Singer, right? He's and you know that the trombone player played solo in that piece, right? Didn't they do a good job? How many people here at Smith School play the trombone? 1, 2. You're our first 2 today. We don't have any trombone players in McKay that we saw you raise their hands for it still. And I'm really happy to see that you guys are playing the trombone. And there's probably some of you here that are thinking that maybe you would like to play an instrument, or maybe you are already playing an instrument and you're kind of getting tired of it. Well, let me tell you something. We can always use trombones in our bands, okay? Especially in the stage band. So I'm very happy to hear that you're playing the trombone, also you. And if anybody else wants to learn to play the trombone, you know, Mr. Sylvander is a very fine trombone player. He's a brass player, like I'm a percussionist. He really knows the brasses. He's a wonderful person for you to study with. So if you want to play the trombone, ask him, okay? We need trombones in middle school and also at the high school. Our goal is to be able to play 76 trombones with 76 trombones. Okay. Now, one more question. how do musicians talk to each other on the telephone? What do they use? Question and answer. Sometimes. A xylophone, almost. A saxophone. And that leads us into our next piece, which features a tenor saxophone played by J.D. Garvin. And this is a piece called Carol with the Drum. Now that's the original title of it, but I don't think a lot of you recognize that title. Most people call it The Little Drummer Boy. Okay? Now this version of it, remember now this is a jazz group up here. This version is going to be a little different than the version you're probably familiar with. We're going to play this in funk style. Say what? Funk, F-U-N-K, is a type of music which combines black rhythm and soul music with rock, okay? So that's how this piece works. It starts off with a slow introduction, and then it goes into like this double time funk feel. So this is called Carol. The drums is arranged by Dave Barton, who's an arranger from California. Are you studying the letters? Really? What letter are you up to? S. Okay, now I have a question for you. You mean you're so smart you know all your letters up to S. It's 2 words. Okay? Duck and dancer. What letter do they begin with? What? D. Very good. Now my next question for you. What's the difference between a duck and a dancer? That's close, right? I don't know if you heard his answer. He said a duck swims and a dancer dances. Anybody else? Get a little closer. You got what you're going to say. A duck has feathers and a dancer doesn't. That's true, usually. Except for Papageno. Remember him? Right? What? Okay. Not really wrong. I'll tell you. A dancer is quick on her feet. A duck is whack on her feet. I've been saving this one. You're more out of What's the difference between a dancer, a ballerina, and a duck? Ballerina. Hold it. Just get it up. Wait. That's good for the dancer answer. That's close. That's real good. Okay. All right, good. I'm going to tell you. Ballerina dances swan lake and a duck swims in it. We need your help. We want you to sing with us. We want you to sing about a percussion instrument. What else? Right here. And it's in a jazz style, so you can always swing and sing along with us.